Welcome to IQD Dinar News, your go-to source for the latest updates on currency exchange rates, revaluation news, and insights into the Iraqi dinar. Stay informed and ahead of the curve with our timely analysis and breaking developments. The hydrocarbon law, often referred to as the HCL, is a significant piece of legislation in Iraq, encompassing the management and distribution of oil and gas resources, which are a vital part of the nation's economy. For many years, Iraq has faced challenges in creating a comprehensive legal framework for managing these resources, and the passage of such a law has been a subject of ongoing debate. The news that the HCL may finally be voted on soon represents a pivotal moment in Iraq's efforts to stabilize and grow its economy. To understand the importance of the HCL, it is essential to recognize the central role oil and gas play in Iraq's economy. Iraq is one of the world's largest oil producers, with oil revenues accounting for a significant majority of the country's income. As a result, managing these resources effectively is crucial for the country's development, public services, and the welfare of its citizens. For years, disputes over the distribution of oil revenues and the management of oil production have been a source of tension, particularly between the central government in Baghdad and the semi-autonomous Kurdistan Regional Government, KRG, in the north. The history of Iraq's oil industry and the challenges associated with revenue sharing can be traced back to the early 20th century, when the country's oil reserves were first discovered. And the federal government is tasked with managing these resources for the benefit of all citizens. However, and overall economic stability. The ongoing disputes have had practical consequences, with the lack of a formal hydrocarbon law leading to a fragmented oil policy. International oil companies, which play a vital role in Iraq's oil sector, have often faced uncertainties regarding legal agreements, contracts, and revenue-sharing mechanisms. For Iraq, this has not only affected oil production and exports but has also contributed to delays in infrastructure development and foreign investment. Therefore, passing the HCL would not only provide a legal framework for managing Iraq's oil resources but also establish a more transparent and predictable environment for international investors. Moreover, the HCL is not just about economics, it is also deeply intertwined with Iraq's political landscape. The law's passage would signify a step towards resolving long-standing issues between the federal government and the KRG, potentially easing tensions and fostering greater national unity. Over the years, disagreements over oil and revenue sharing have at times led to armed conflicts, political standoffs, and even budgetary crises. By setting clear rules for the management of oil resources, the HCL could help prevent future disputes and create a foundation for political reconciliation. The vote on the HCL also has implications for Iraq's relations with its neighboring countries and the global oil market. As one of the largest oil-producing countries, Iraq's policies can influence global oil prices and supply. A stable and predictable oil sector in Iraq would not only benefit the country's economy but also contribute to the stability of the international oil market. Moreover, neighboring countries like Turkey and Iran, which have significant economic and political ties with Iraq, would also be affected by the outcomes of the HCL vote. The law could impact cross-border oil deals, pipeline agreements, and regional energy dynamics. The anticipation surrounding the HCL vote reflects the broader challenges Iraq faces as it seeks to rebuild after decades of conflict. The country is dealing with the aftermath of war, the fight against terrorism, economic sanctions, and political instability. In this context, establishing a fair and effective oil law is seen as a step towards building a more prosperous and stable future. the HCL could provide a legal basis for ensuring that oil wealth benefits all citizens, not just specific regions or groups. This would be an important step towards addressing economic disparities and fostering social cohesion. The reported possibility of the HCL being voted on soon is not just an isolated development, it is part of a broader trend in Iraq's ongoing efforts to enact reforms. In recent years, there have been calls for various political, economic, and legal reforms to address corruption, improve governance, and diversify the economy. The oil sector, as Iraq's economic backbone, is a key area for reform. The successful passage of the HCL could pave the way for further changes, including the modernization of Iraq's oil infrastructure, the adoption of new technologies, and the development of other sectors. However, there are also potential challenges and risks associated with the HCL vote. Given the history of political divisions and regional tensions in Iraq, reaching a consensus on the law may not be easy. The success of the HCL will ultimately depend on the willingness of all parties to adhere to the law's provisions and work together for the country's greater good. Another consideration is the impact of the HCL on Iraq's internal security situation. The country has faced numerous security challenges, including the rise of extremist groups, sectarian violence, and external interference. The management of oil resources, particularly in contested regions, could exacerbate or mitigate some of these issues. For example, the question of oil revenue sharing has been linked to disputes in areas such as Kirkuk, which are claimed by both the central government and the KRG. A fair and transparent legal framework could help reduce tensions in these contested areas, contributing to overall stability. Internationally, the potential vote on the HCL has also attracted attention from foreign governments, investors, and international organizations. The law could affect existing agreements and future negotiations involving international oil companies. For investors, the HCL's passage could signal a more stable investment environment, encouraging further investments in Iraq's oil and gas sector. Foreign governments, particularly those with strategic interests in Iraq, such as the United States, Iran, and Turkey, may also have a stake in the outcome, as it could influence Iraq's economic trajectory and regional power dynamics. The timing of the vote is also significant. Iraq is at a critical juncture in its efforts to achieve political stability and economic recovery. Recent years have seen waves of protests demanding better governance, economic opportunities, and an end to corruption. The government has faced pressure to deliver on these demands and enact meaningful reforms. In this context, passing the HCL could be seen as a response to public demands for change and a demonstration of the government's commitment to reform. In summary, the possibility of the HCL being voted on soon is a significant development for Iraq. The law represents more than just a piece of legislation. It is a key to unlocking the country's potential for economic growth, political stability, and social development. The HCL addresses fundamental issues related to revenue sharing, resource management, and regional autonomy, which have long been sources of contention in Iraq. Its passage could pave the way for greater national unity, economic development, and international investment. However, the process is not without challenges, and the outcomes will depend on the political will to implement the law effectively and address any subsequent issues that may arise. While the HCL alone cannot solve all of Iraq's problems, it could lay the groundwork for a more prosperous and stable future by providing a fair and transparent framework for managing the country's most valuable resources. The anticipation surrounding the potential vote reflects the broader hopes for progress in Iraq's long journey toward recovery and development. If the law is indeed voted on and passed this weekend, it will mark a historic moment for Iraq, setting a new course for the nation's future and potentially changing the dynamics of its oil sector for years. Thanks for tuning in to IQD Dinar News. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. For more updates on the Iraqi dinar and global currency trends, hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. See you in the next video. Come.